We are joined in studio, Texas Ag Commissioner Sid Miller, who has taken off the big white hat so you can put on headphones. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Hey, it's good to be here this morning.
Well, I appreciate you coming in today. We start off the show with you, and you're making a little bit of a West Texas tour today, aren't you?
We are. We had breakfast over in Slayton at one of the gyms over there, and met with a bunch of farmers and producers and ginners over there, and got their input, and that's where I get all my good ideas is from someone else. So it was good to have a taco breakfast this morning and with a cool, crisp morning here in West Texas.
Yeah, well, that's great. Great to have you out here. What are some of the things that you've heard not only today, but I guess maybe through the last few months regarding agriculture in West Texas and just overall here in the state of Texas?
Well, agriculture is not facing rosy times right now. Nearly all the commodities, including cotton, corn, sorghum, cattle, most livestock are facing a non-profitable year, with the exception of pecans. Pecans are going to have a banner year. They're going to make some money there. But we're the eternal optimist. We're going to put in another crop. We just had our Family Land Heritage ceremony in Austin this month. And that's where we honor those families that have been farming or ranching the same land for 100 years plus, 100 years, 150 years. So we had 40 families that we recognized there.
A lot of hard work and a lot of dedication.
It was. There was I was visiting with a family from Garza County, not too far from here, and I said, "So how long have you all had the farm in your family?" He said, "This will be 100 years this year." And he said,
"Wow,
we're about to harvest our 100th cotton crop." Oh, but does that put chills down your spine or what?
Yeah, well, I hope it was good for them.
Well, so far, I think they've just about got it in. There was another gentleman there, and I think he put it in even a better perspective from Central Texas. And I said, "Sir, how long have the ranch been in your family?" He said, 120 years. We've been ranching the same land, same family. He said, "And if we have a couple of more good years, I think we'll get it paid for."
We're visiting with Commissioner Sid Miller here in studio. You were in Slayton this morning. You're heading up to Amarillo later today?
Yes, sir. We're going up there to the Agriculture Appreciation Lunch tomorrow. I'll be here in Lubbock area most of the day today. We actually have an office here. I have employees here in Lubbock, Region 1, so we're going to go out and have lunch with our employees and encourage them and give out our service awards for those people that have been with us 5, 10, 15, 25 years and recognize their hard work and dedication to the Texas Department of Agriculture and to the agriculture community and the people they serve.
That's great. For those who, they're looking ahead to the upcoming legislative session, what all do you and your office, what do y'all do with those state lawmakers, and how do y'all work together? What's the relationship like?
Well, the first thing we do is our budget for the coming biennium. Of course, we have a 24-month budget. The legislature asked us to reduce our budget. We did that. We turned in one budget with a 4% cut across the board. Well, not across the board, but a 4% cut, and a second budget with a 10% cut. And we're what you call a cost recovery agency. We pay our own way. The taxpayers really don't subsidize a lot of the stuff we do. So the people we serve pay for those services, whether it be weights and measures, inspecting scales, or gas pumps, or pesticides, or seeds. So cutting those essential services really doesn't save the state any money because it doesn't cost the state any money. It's not generally, it's not taxpayer dollars. So all of our cuts were in our grants programs. The largest was a $3 million cut in the cotton program called the boll weevil eradication program. We met with the cotton industry and the boll weevil eradication folks on that. We've been so successful at that program that there's parts of the state now that we'll be able to go to a maintenance program instead of an eradication program. So it was a pretty easy cut to make there, and that was the bulk of our cut was a $3 million out of that program.
Visiting with Commissioner Sid Miller. We'll take our first break of this half hour. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation, talk a little bit more about ag here in West Texas, and also how it may translate in Washington, D.C. here in a few months. We'll be right back. Chad Hasty Show, KFYO. Back on the Chad Hasty Show. News Talk, KFYO. Thank you very much for tuning in. We have Ag Commissioner Sid Miller in studio with us this morning as he's making his West Texas tour through the state and going up to Amarillo tomorrow, in Lubbock today, enjoying lunch and some office time here in Lubbock today, and was down in Slayton earlier this morning. Commissioner, when obviously something that you probably hear a lot about is a failed farm bill, that a lot of our ag producers cannot stand the farm bill, that's not working out for them. You've been in contact with the Trump campaign, obviously. Sure. When it comes to ag policy going into his first term, and this is something you don't really hear about nationally, what do you feel his ag policy will be like compared with the last administration's?
Well, Chad, ever since November 8th, I've had this grin on my face I can't wipe off because previously, during the Obama administration, I spent way too much of my time fighting federal government, federal overreach. I'm suing the EPA. I'm suing the Corps of Engineers. I'm battling the Bureau of Land Management. I'm fighting the Endangered Species Act. And our governor, Greg Abbott, has made a career of fighting against the federal government. Now he's kind of out of something to do. So that's nice. That's a good thing. The farm bill under the new administration, by law, we'll have to have a new one in 2018. So we look forward to working on that with a friendly, administration. Of course, we have the control of the Senate and the House and the executive branch, and it's our turn to govern as conservatives, and we better produce, or the people are going to throw everybody out on their ear, and I expect us to produce.
Well, and that's something you probably saw the quote from Senator Cruz, I think it was yesterday or on the Sunday shows, where he said that, hey, if the GOP doesn't step up, voters are going to be after the GOP with pitchforks, coming after them, because there have been a lot of promises made.
I agree with him. I think that's one of the reasons that Donald Trump got elected. They're tired of nothing getting done in Washington, and the gridlock, and it's been going on for years. So there is hope. Those farmers I met with this morning, one of them said, he said, after that election, he said, I just stayed on the combine an extra hour and a half, 2 hours, because I realized I was working for myself again. I wasn't working for the federal government. He said it just gave me a new drive and initiative to get out here and put that extra effort in. He says, I feel like I'm working for my family again.
One of the reactions from the election was the rural versus urban divide, that New York City, that L.A., they don't understand the Lubbock, Texas. They don't understand the Rust Belt states. They don't understand what those in Michigan have gone through, in Iowa. They don't understand ag producers. They don't get it. Do you think is that something that rings true even here in Texas, where maybe you have some of the larger cities that don't understand the Lubbocks, the Slaytons, the Post?
Well, that is true. And historically in Texas, somebody from rural Texas or connections to rural Texas has held just about every statewide elected office up until the current. And we've got some great people in there now. I mean, Greg Abbott's doing a great job, but he's never got up and went to the milking parlor at 3 a.m. in the morning. He has never experienced that. Lieutenant Governor Patrick, good friend of mine, great lieutenant governor, but he's never had to jump off a 40-20 tractor at 4 o'clock in the morning, 20 degrees to go put out round bales. I mean, he's never experienced that. And our, Ken Paxton, our Attorney General, same way, and the Railroad Commissioner, George P. Bush, the Land Commissioner, myself, and one other statewide, Glenn Hager, whose family's in rice farming. We have that connection to the land that's now missing from state government. So your point is very well taken. It's something that I'm working extremely hard on at the Texas Department of Agriculture, is get our message out. So we have several programs in our schools. We're starting with the little ones because that's where it's implanted.
Right.
So we have Farm Fresh Fridays, and we have Meet the Farmer Day, and we're partnering and putting in school gardens and bringing the FFA in to speak to those kiddos. So we're trying to reconnect. Matter of fact, our slogan now at TDA is Texas Agriculture Matters, and it's tagged on to just about everything we print or our radio program I do every day, and so yes, it's very important that we reconnect the populace with how important agriculture is.
We'll have one more segment with Ag Commissioner Sid Miller when we come back here on the Chad Hasty Show. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM, KFYO. We're back on the Chad Hasty Show. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM, KFYO. Ag Commissioner Sid Miller in studio with us. And anytime we talk, we got to talk a little bit about Donald Trump and some of the cabinet selections. So far, what do you think about some of the cabinet picks and some of the names out there for the cabinet positions?
You know, he's really surrounding himself with some great people. I mean, I certainly agree with his picks. We'll see what happens on the Romney nomination. But, you know, we had a Texan up there yesterday. Kathleen Hartnett-White was interviewing for the EPA, Secretary of EPA. So, man, you talk about be great for Texas, great for agriculture, great for the oil and gas industry. You know, her husband is been in the cattle business for 5 generations. They're a big part of the Cattle Raisers Association, and of course, she's at the Texas Public Policy Foundation now. And you may or may not know this, or our listeners may, but she's pretty much single-handedly stopped the EPA from putting the prairie chicken on the endangered list, and then actually got it off the threatened list. So she was chairman of the TCEQ, Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, and was very friendly to private business in agriculture and the oil and gas industry. So I think that would just you'd see people doing backflips.
That'd be a complete turnaround from what we've got right
Holy
now.
Cow. I could quit suing the EPA. Finally.
Well, and you're still on the short list for Ag Commissioner, correct?
Yes, Secretary of Agriculture over the USDA, which is the second largest agency in federal government, 1.2 million employees, 5 federal agencies under its umbrella. So it's a huge department. Of course, it has all the food nutrition programs, SNAP and WIC. School nutrition is all a big part of that. Of course, it still deals with all the agriculture issues and farm issues. So, very high profile, probably be just from the word I'm getting, and I don't have any, date certain, but probably 10 days to 2 weeks before they get to that part of the transition process.
So you haven't been summoned yet to Trump Tower?
I have not, but neither is anyone else that's on the list for consideration.
Right. Well, yeah, it's one of those where I'm pretty sure they really want to hammer out Secretary of State. They want to hammer that position out and then move on from there. What are your quick thoughts on Secretary of State? Who would you like to see if you could, get a line to President-elect Trump and say, here's who we need. Who do you like?
I tell you what, when he gives me that call, I'm going to tell him who I like and what he should do. So I'm waiting on that call. But he's got a lot of good people lined up there. I'll be honest with you, I'm not. I was a Romney supporter and like Romney, but after he was kind of a never Trumper, and I'll be disappointed if I think he could do the job. Don't get me wrong, I think he could do the job, but I'll be somewhat disappointed if he gets it.
What was it? I guess from what I've heard from some, it's not as much as he was a never Trumper. It's that he went out of his way to give speeches and really campaign against Donald Trump. Is that where the friction is, you think?
It is, and that would have been okay if it was just his policy positions and where he stood on the issues, but it was more of a personal, nasty, attack on him and his background and his personality, and it just kind of violated the 11th commandment that Reagan said, thou shalt not talk ugly about a fellow Republican, and he broke that commandment.
Ag Commissioner Sid Miller, appreciate your time as always.
Glad to be here.